Hi, it's Cajun, and it's time for the company-wide weekly conference call. This is a pre-recorded call. We'll start with global, what's happening around the world. And we obviously are still in pandemic mode globally, and this means that you've got crisis after crisis happening. One of the most recent crises to happen was the negative value that oil took via a futures contract. And we know that things are going to go back to normal, not necessarily to normal, but at least to about $20 a barrel in June. But that's indicative of the pandemic. And systemically, you can see that if the world needs less energy, then the price of oil will drop. It also connects to something that happened about a couple of years ago in Texas, where there was a prediction related to the U.S. kind of outpacing every other country in terms of oil production, and then having the prices drop a bit there. But these are all ripple effects, and this is just the start related to what's going to happen or what's going to result from this pandemic. There are opportunities that result as well. The opportunity in natural language processing, if we go straight to what's happening in our industry of natural language processing and data sets, what we're looking at are companies adopting NLP in all kinds of ways right now. One of the most valuable ways, most lucrative ways, is to apply NLP to legal technology, and this is what Accenture is doing in a big way. They issued a press release related to their entry into the legal technology space, analyzing contracts and analyzing depositions, summarizing depositions and things like that, making predictions. So Accenture is also a company that we've been talking with for quite some time, and we will be talking with them again as soon as we complete with Amazon. And we'll talk a bit about that in a minute. On the crypto side, within the crypto space, we're looking, I think everybody has their eyes on the fact that there's about a few billion in stable coins sitting out there on the sidelines. And it keeps rising. And this looks like a wave of interest set to enter the crypto space. So all eyes are on that. Eyes are also on a company called Rentech, or Renaissance Technologies. Renaissance Technologies was founded by a guy named James Simmons, and they have been the best performing hedge fund, I think, in history. And they are very well respected. They have decided to enter the crypto space via futures contracts initially. So that sent a few positive ripples across the industry as well. They're an innovative hedge fund, very innovative. They use natural language processing, I think, before any other fund that I've ever heard of, or any financial institution I've ever heard of. One of their founders or co-CEOs was Robert Mercer, and they worked on Cambridge Analytica, or a package related to Cambridge Analytica before Cambridge Analytica existed. And that took a lot of natural language processing. On to the internal corporate side, we have a lot of resources going toward, obviously, solving for COVID-19 and doing what we can do to contribute. We also have a lot of resources going into applying for grants related to COVID-19. And like we've mentioned, we've decided to put an effort into this. And we've got about 200 applications that we're looking at right now. We may not qualify for all of them, but they're increasing every day. They're piling up. And we are trying to come up with efficient templates and an efficient set of groups of people that can work together to apply for these grants and sort of cookie cut where we can to make it very efficient. We intend to apply. We want to get up to about applying for three grants a week, hopefully a little more. Each grant has a chance for us to communicate to the public as well. On the engineering side, we have completed the dataset builder, the first phase. And the dataset builder is quite an accomplishment. It's a way for anyone to create permutations, customizable datasets with at least 5 features. We're going to enable more features or more columns as time goes on. But this is a way for a COVID-19 scientist, researcher, molecular biologist or someone working in drug development to understand what drug compounds correlate to what genes or what proteins or what other drug compounds or what infectious diseases or what genes connected to what proteins and then to what infectious disease or what proteins connect to SARS-CoV-2. So the dataset builder is complete and we've submitted it to Amazon. Amazon's taking a look at it, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what we can do with that dataset builder in a bit. But on the engineering side, it's really a matter of coming up with, or at least being able to integrate new models that create new kinds of calculations for the datasets, and also new knowledge domains. Each infectious disease has its own knowledge domain, for example. A knowledge domain might be everything related to human genes, or another knowledge domain might be related to everything related to human proteins or enzymes. So we're looking at creating as many possible permutations, not only in life sciences, but also in the financial markets. And that connects to building short baskets for the traditionals. And the dataset builder, of course, was originally designed to function for the financial markets or for financial market data. And we've repurposed it for life sciences data. Of course, our original application with the VectorspaceAI approach was in life sciences, but at any rate, it is set and ready to go for its application to the financial markets. And that would mean that anyone could create a data set and then integrate it into their pipeline. Long baskets for crypto, that's also in the engineering pipeline. Short baskets for traditionals, and balanced or hedged between long baskets for crypto. So we kind of want to make that our initial financial product offering for our investment club. And that would mean a hybrid basket, a hedged basket, a basket where you've got 60% short the financials or 60% short the SPYs, S&P, and then you've got 40% long on selected crypto. We want to be able to generate that list of long cryptos algorithmically, but we also want to be able to hand curate a list of cryptos that we have as components for the basket. Anyway, that takes engineering, so we're chugging along there. On the IR and the PR side, that is gated on our initial feedback from Amazon, which we are waiting for now, and we'll let everyone know when we hear back from them. On the customers, partners, and collaborators side, as mentioned, I've got a little note to myself that reminds me to mention that Amazon's reviewing the dataset builder. We already talked about that, but Microsoft is next. So after we receive input from Amazon, we're going to refine our approach if we need to. We probably will. And make it even stronger so that when we talk to Microsoft or hand it off to Microsoft, it'll be even much better. And then after that, Bloomberg. So we're handling these contiguously, step by step here. And then, of course, as mentioned, we'll also be opening a dialogue with Accenture after Bloomberg. After Amazon. On the exchanges side, it's important for everybody to keep in mind we are gating that on our IR and our PR. And our IR and our PR is gated on feedback from Amazon at this point. Those are the dependencies. It's like a supply chain. We've had questions from the public, and we didn't get a chance to answer those questions during the last conference call. So what I'll do is go over the questions here and now and provide some answers. The first question we had was regarding, and I don't have any usernames, so I can't tell you who's asking this question. Next time we'll get the usernames. But regarding the VXV customer transaction network process, I would like to know if the software-driven part, VXV wallet-enabled API, is already working, or is it in development? Okay, that is already working. The components have already been tested, and we are working on wrappers to have everything fully automated. The second question, I would like to know if there are any updates about the team and partners tokens vesting or lockup. No, there are no updates. We've had a 4-year lockup, and there are no updates on that front. Third question, I would like to know if there are any updates about Trustology's VXV customizations on easing the onboarding process. Well, updates related to easing the onboarding process for customers pre-virus have changed. Priorities have changed as well. The updates have been revised based on the COVID-19 focus. We're going to have life sciences customers come to us and need to be onboarded. So the onboarding process for a life sciences customer is a little bit different than the onboarding process for a hedge fund or an asset management company. There's an old... And the next question, when Trustology's customizations are delivered, will there be only one way of onboarding through Trustology? Or the customers that are familiar with crypto will still be able to onboard on their own? I'm going to skip that question and just say that there will be multiple ways of onboarding. Next question, there's an old interview regarding VectorSpace where Occasion mentions the usage of VXV token as the amount of holding you need in your wallet to be granted access towards certain tiers. This to be constructed in a Netflix-like build, where you can give access to others with your wallet. Is this something which is already in the blueprint of being constructed toward this direction? Yes, it is. This is absolutely something we've been working on. And this was part of our original strategy, was enabling anyone to hold VXV or take a position in VXV and have that associated to a unique data set, and then be able to either lease that data set out or curate it, then lease it out, or augment it with another, make it more powerful, what have you, and then lease it out or resell it. Next question, this in regards to our first or one order book strategy, which I completely understand as to how it's been thought out business-wise regarding the arbitrage selling, but I think there's a possible weak spot, and that's a hypothetical situation where if we were to announce good news before being listed on a second exchange and still being on one book, we could risk getting played by an orchestrated group, etc., etc., etc. All right, so our primary concern is not being played or orchestrated. Our primary concern is not allowing unfair trading practices to occur, unfair to our customers, basically, where you're buying on one order book low and selling on another order book high. That kind of arb is what we're trying to prevent. Okay, that's it for the questions. In terms of strategy, anything that we roll out, we want to make sure that our team understands and the public understands that anything we roll out gives us a unique opportunity to communicate to the public. This means each grant approval is a PR, each new data set rollout is a PR, each new customer is a PR. And we've got a lot to talk about. AI and NLP applied to COVID-19 to mine or extract hidden relationships between approved drugs and genes and proteins, infectious diseases and other drug compounds, plant compounds and phytochemicals. We'll be getting into the microbiome soon. And that's just in terms of the life sciences efforts. The dataset builder also applies to every industry. So as soon as we have planted our flags in the life sciences industry and in the financial industry, financial markets industry. We have every other industry that we can target. So looking ahead, we've got good things that we're seeing here. We're also targeting the financial markets immediately after the life sciences, as we've mentioned. And that gives us the ability to provide you very unique products on the short side, as we've mentioned. But we're keeping a close eye on the markets right now to determine where it's headed. It looks like it's headed a lot lower in the long term. So short baskets are certainly in order. This concludes the call. If you have any questions, feel free to see us online and submit your questions there. Thanks for joining. See you soon. Bye.